Hey, how's everybody doing? Welcome to Talking Shit with your boy Sophisticated Jerk, M3, and Stan.
What's up?
So before we jump into these topics, man, we got some sad ones today, man, about some broke individuals. But how y'all doing, man?
Man, we're
Y'all,
doing.
y'all chill.
Matter of fact, I'll just say, man, I'm blessed, man. You know.
So you got you a place of residence. You said you ain't out here living in a car and shit. So you good?
Yeah, I'm good, man. You know, and I'll knock on any piece of wood that I can. So,
Let me ask y'all before we jump into this video. California, y'all got a pretty big homeless population and stuff
Yeah,
out there. Is
yeah.
it blowing up pretty bad? Because somebody was telling me like Portland, like there's a lot of people like in Portland now that are that are homeless and stuff. It's like that population just exploded or something.
I wouldn't even say homeless though, but you do have a lot of like people that are just like high off of life.
Oh,
But
okay.
I
Is that
didn't really. And Portland is pretty small in my opinion, so I didn't really see a lot of homelessness. But you'll mostly see a lot of homeless people in the downtown areas like Oakland, Sacramento, but places like Walnut Creek, um, Pittsburgh, and Antioch. I mean, yeah, you can't be walking around homeless out there. They'll take you somewhere else, you know.
Yeah, they
oh,
take you to Oakland. That's what they're gonna do.
Hmm.
okay.
They'll take you
Well,
to
I
Oakland.
imagine because y'all got that weather, so it's like, man, if that's a place to be homeless, because it's
Oh,
like,
it's cold right now. It's been cold for a whole
Yeah,
month. It's
yeah, I
been
know. I'm just
dangerously
saying, but
cold.
like compared to other places, like you talk about Connecticut cold, so I know it's like cold right now, but I'm saying like for the most part, y'all got some pretty decent weather, except for
Like,
shit.
yeah, but like it's crazy because what we consider poverty in Northern California is
hmm
that now these six figures people, they're like, I didn't even have six figures. Well, if you make 140,000, that's considered to be poor.
Mm, yeah, y'all shit steep over there.
You know,
yeah.
that was something that's not what I feel. That's something they made it like known on the news. Like 140,000 is poor. You have lawyers that make 200K a year who are homeless. It's because you have Airbnbs, you have extended stay hotels. You have to do backflips and tricks to get an apartment on lease.
Damn.
It's kind of like it's backwards over here. So yeah.
I'm just surprised I survived, man, for so long with good credit. You know,
Mhm.
because I'm telling you, they'll find ways to like bring you in and knock you out. And I will say this though, the other problem with California is that if you're making, and I'm well, this probably was just federal, but if you're making over like I would say 70 or 75,000, then you got to pay extra taxes as well too. So they penalize you for even trying to get to the six figures because they want to bring you down below poverty level. So even if you're making six figures
Mhm.
gross wise, they're gonna take half of that.
Damn. Yeah, it was funny, man. I remember I told you I was like, I got this great offer on paper, and I was like, oh shit, I'm balling. I'm about to move out to the Bay Area. I was hyped.
Mm-hmm.
Before I like accepting the offer, I'm like, all right, let me go in there, let me look at like rent prices and all that. Man, I looked at the rent prices out there. That shit crushed my spirits. I was like, I can't be coming out there. And I mean, it was like a high six-digit offer, even off of that. I was like, God damn. I was like, man, I'm gonna have to after work, I'm gonna have to go down there and with a tin cup and go out there and beg a little bit. But yeah, I was like,
Yeah, I
God,
think you was close, man, to being like one of us, man, the Californians.
man, yeah, I like the vibe, man. California, a great place, but them
Yeah, I was
prices ain't no
told.
joke.
Yeah, I was told from like my friends in Florida. At least we have the income a little bit, but Florida hasn't changed so much. The rent is going up, but the people pay. We complain about the pay in California, but there's other places where it's not
It's not catching. That makes sense.
at all, at
Yeah, because
all.
Lisa, that area, man, they do pay, like I said. So, but I mean, the prices are high, but the pay lines up. So it makes sense. Like you said, everybody going down to Florida, increasing up prices. So they ain't got the jobs because it's like a travel mainly industry. So yeah, they don't have all the corporate stuff really.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
agricultural. So that's what their the main industries is: hospitality and agricultural.
Yeah, see, damn that. But all right, man, this kind of ties in. I was asking them questions because it ties into the first topic that we're gonna do. So there was a video floating around, and this guy did a good job, putting all the pieces together. Various videos of a bunch of females getting evicted because the rent is too high now. So yeah, I didn't realize like those evictions been creeping up like that, but it kind of makes sense, coming off of COVID and people getting laid off of jobs and stuff. So it seemed like it's getting rough out there.
Hmm.
But yeah, let me go ahead and put this video on. Y'all let me know whenever y'all want me to stop it. Cause it's pretty long, so we ain't gonna watch the whole thing, but just let me know if y'all want to break down one of these segments.
Extra money. I've been pretty much a mess since I read that. I am literally being kicked out of this apartment by 5 o'clock tomorrow.
And if I don't find another place by the end of September, I'm going to be essentially homeless.
Into a place that I can't afford.
Needs to invent a software or app that allows you to pay your rent off over the month.
I feel like I've done everything right. Like I went to school, I got my degree, I got a job, but like with rent and bills and student loans and groceries.
I'm out here saving them, huh?
I ain't never seen that, but that was funny. My man said, "Look, you better get that OnlyFans page started. Stop playing." So,
hey guys, welcome back to More to Life. Now, before I get into this video, I ask that you like, comment, subscribe. Also, smash that notification bell just to be sure you get on my videos as soon as I release them. Let's get right into this.
y'all support the brother.
Okay, cool. So I'm having to move out of my house because I can't afford rent. So I'm moving into my parents' property. So I'm just saying, like, you know what? Me moving into my parents' house at 30 is the best thing that's ever happened to me. It doesn't matter. We're going to be fine. We're all going to be fine.
You can help me if any of you have extra money. Yeah, I've been pretty much a mess since I read that, and I don't know what to do. So if y'all could please help and reach out, that'd be great. That'd be really great. Thanks. I need your help. I might lose my house, and this letter is any indication, which I'm pretty sure it is. I'm literally shaking. Yeah, my heart is pounding. It's like over 100 beats per minute. So yeah, I'm really going through the anxiety. Okay, if anyone can help me with that, I would really appreciate it, because like I really don't know what I'm gonna do without this place. I have spent so much time crying, and I have a lot more complicated of a situation regarding me losing my house than most people do.
This part right here, it grinds my gears.
Like, I'm gonna stop it right there. Yeah, she probably need to sell that Fitbit, but yeah, this is kind of sad, man.
Yeah.
Do you think like people this age, man, do you think they need to start rooming with each other? Or I know we were talking about it like last live or something like that a couple lives ago. But Stan, you was asking a question. You're like, man, one thing about guys, like, we'll kind of swallow our pride a little bit and start getting creative about like rooming with somebody, or how because of this whole 50-50 debate too. It's just like, oh, I don't want no roommate. I ain't, if a guy don't do everything, and it's just like, man, this is like an outcome of it. So it's like, do we need to start like telling the youth, like, look, man, times is different. Like, unless you just some like multi-millionaire, you Kai Cenat or somebody, is like, man, you better
But I think that's what happened, right? Like people got bamboozled by everything they seen online, right? On social media. You got to get this high-rise apartment because such and such your age is doing it, but you forget such and such your age got an OnlyFans and is selling his stuff through a funnel. You know, and and you know what I'm saying, going on trips in Dubai, but you know they got a sugar mama or sugar daddy, but that's the whole thing of like when you're following people and it doesn't match your reality, it comes crushing down. It's like I don't know what kind of apartment people were getting, but you know when I got my first apartment, it was just straight up. It was a nice little small apartment. It had like 30 units in it. It was around Lake Merritt. I didn't need anything with a high rise and a doorman greeting me. It was just an apartment, and I had a time in my life. It was a safe place. It was a good neighborhood, and I enjoyed it. So like, and also like the economy sucks. The question I have for people, right? You didn't pay rent for 2 years because there was a mandatorium. What was it called? Where people didn't pay rent.
Oh, I
And
can't remember what
but you know, people didn't pay rent, and I'm like, what you guys are doing with the money? And also, you have full benefits from your unemployment. At that time, I had to go to work, and I still paid my landlord their money. Although I had the right not to, but I didn't want to have that strike against me that I didn't pay rent. And I know I don't trust anything with the government say like, don't pay your rent and wait 2 years. Like, that sounds suspicious. But you looking, a lot of people have gone through it. A lot of people got homeless. A lot of people was trying to fight. A lot of people got that strike of like they've been out of a place. They didn't pay their rent, so that's on their record. So yo, it's a real deal out here. So like to complain about 50-50 or to show that you are living a soft life era and you got somebody paying your rent and your bills, man, I'll call it out as that's poor taste. Read the room. Like we gotta be careful what we show people, because
yeah.
people are desperate times, and you don't want them come to your house and rob you.
Feel you. Yeah, you don't pay me for 2 years. Like I'm definitely holding a grudge.
Right?
Soon,
I'm like,
soon as that like law lifted, I'm throwing your ass out.
but you gotta look at like if your rent was $2,000 and I'm looking at 24 months, what's the math of that, right? That's
Oh
like
yeah, we
48K. Where's the money?
go ahead, M3. I know you.
What I was gonna say, like, yeah, I mean, it's tough, man. Like, the new way of the system is designed is that look, renting like a home is not just for your comfort. Renting a home or any type of apartment is really meant for like you rooming in and partnering up with someone. Like the whole ideology now these days, like how landlords are thinking, like if I'm going to rent a room out to someone, 9 times out of 10, that person has to have like a family or maybe a friend staying with him or her or whatever. Because that's how they are, and that's why they charge those high prices because they feel like, well, shoot, let's say like I rent out for like 500, right, to someone. Well, that person's gonna probably try to bring his family, his kids, whatever. So then I feel like, man, like I need a little bit more, you
Yep.
know. Whereas, like, okay, if I charge 2,000, I expect like Jose or Michael or whoever, right, to go find someone so then they could help cover up the cost for the rent.
Yep.
But
Yep.
the problem is that like not everyone is fortunate to really have like friends or have a family to room in and help pitch in for the rent. And especially if you're a guy, like there's no cheat code to it. You can't do no OnlyFans. Don't look for a sugar mama to sponsor you or whatever. Like you gotta have some type of game of charisma to drizzle it out,
Yeah.
And the last part is that, you know, believe it or not, we always want to have our own space because we know what it was like, especially if you've been in a relationship with someone. You know what it's like where you felt like you didn't have your own space or you didn't have your own power of control. Actually, can I say one last thing?
No, go ahead.
It's a story. I'll make it short. Okay, and I already know y'all gonna laugh for it, but so I was talking to one of my Latina friends, and and she, hey, what can I say, right?
2025, Latina.
Shout out to my Latina friend. She was making like an offer, like more of a suggestion, and she was like, you know, if any worst case scenario happens, because one, I have a Tesla which I cannot charge anymore to my apartment because the owner pretty much shut that down. And then I'm going to be losing, let's say, $6,500 like a year, and then we're also going through budget cuts, and it's going to get worse next year. Hopefully, no layoffs to us drivers, but I think we're safe. But the thing is, like a contingency plan that she thought of, which I kind of thought about it, but I was like, nah, this ain't gonna work. So she wanted me to consider like moving back to Pittsburgh. And she has a family.
Stan was like,
so she has like, you know, a family like that lives out there. It's an apartment complex where one of my friends and her family, whatever. Long story short, she has a relative that has a 2-bedroom apartment, and she thinks it would be a good idea if I room in with her sister. Yeah, I know you shake your head, right? I'm not struggling that bad, right? But you know, but it made me think. Like, I'm like, damn. Like, even though I would be saving like $1,000,
You ain't saving no money. Stop thinking that you are. I'm sorry to stop this ridiculousness. You're not saving no money.
I'm not going
in a
for
relationship. You ain't saving jack shit. You ain't saving jack. Somebody have to stop this mess.
Yeah, she was trying to put him in a relationship.
That's a relationship.
It
Hey,
is.
M3 is gonna move in, wake up, and be married and shit.
You know what I'm saying? Waking up, she pregnant. How that happen? I don't know. She gave me some cactus juice, and I woke up. And next thing you know, they ain't baby Jesus. They ain't baby Jesus in her stomach. That's your baby.
But let M3 finish his story.
Oh, no,
So before M3 finishes his story, hold on. Before M3,
there's
Pittsburgh
more.
Pittsburgh, is that the slums or?
No. Like the apartments is good. It's a good neighborhood. I've been there before.
Oh, okay.
And honestly, like I was considering. Actually,
How she looked though? Did you see how she looked?
You talking about my friend's sister?
Yeah.
Look, I never want her to like watch this video.
Oh yeah, okay. No, we'll keep it pushing. That's back. That's in the back. Okay.
That's enough.
But you know, we're all from the church or whatever, you know. So
okay.
One church person helping out another.
Oh God, and y'all from the church? That's even worse. That's even worse. That's even, you gonna live Joseph and Mary life.
Abort mission. Abort mission.
Make you get married to Mary. You're gonna be married to Mary, because baby Jesus.
That cat was getting set up.
Yes.
But go ahead, let M3 finish your story though.
No, but if y'all watching this though, right? You know, like we're just having fun, but I still appreciate the offer that she gave, right? And her sister's not bad looking. You know, she's a really nice person with a kid. But the thing is,
no. No.
The plot thickens.
No. 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 No.
He trying to skim over that shit quick.
Okay. No.
I know.
If she has a kid that does drugs, it's still shit.
Okay, I'm saving $1,000. I'm saving $1,000. No, you're not.
Yeah.
Saving Jack. save your soul and say no. Save your soul and say no.
And
Yeah.
shout out to her sister for she was like, look, I'm gonna put this cat in a situation shit. He gonna wake up
Okay,
with a
big time.
family and shit. Just add water.
He gonna come at him at Christmas like, can you be my father?
Well, but the thing is that like I like the way how most like Latinos they operate where they are so family oriented. They try to bring you into the family where they take care of you, but at the same time, it's like I look at more of the cons way than I see like the pros of it. The pros are like, okay, me saving 1,000, but the cons is all the stuff that I have in my apartment. I would have to move all that stuff out, put in storage. Then I won't really have the freedom that I would have. So it's like, no, I can't do that. And then especially if I want to bring women over to the house,
You know what? For the record, and I want to put this on the record and make a clip out of this. Thank you, M3. I'm sorry. I want to say sorry to my father, my stepfathers, right?
Oh,
I officially do not want to date Latina ever in my life. I would never make y'all happy.
What the?
I will never make y'all happy. I will never make y'all happy. I'm so sorry. Don't be praying for me. I know my family wants me to go back into my roots. I'm Latino enough. I will not participate in any Latina rhetoric or institution. It would not happen.
Give this man.
But you know what, M3? Oh, go ahead, M3.
No, I say give this man stand some fried chicken feet. He'll be okay. He'll change his mind.
No,
M3. I actually think you should do it, man. You know, man, there's a little family in there, man. I think, man, you about to save $1,000. Come with a kid if you want to go that route, man. You want to make a family and stuff.
He has to put stuff in storage. You're not saving $1,000.
Just sell the stuff, man. You know, sell the stuff, move in there, man. You never know where this relationship could go. You said she's in the church and stuff. I think, man, this might be a blessing.
Where Bruiser at?
Let me stop playing. Let me stop.
Where Bruiser at? Bruiser.
Oh man, I would feel horrible, like a horrible person. She ever watching this? Like, what the hell?
Nah, I was like you said, good offer, but it's like, nah.
You know, here I wanted to say something like really like because I was a case manager in my last agency, and I gotta tell you guys what was going on, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
So, what M3 said earlier, besides that Latina stuff, when landlords wanted more money because the people were coming in, that was true. It was hard for us to house families because if, let's say, like you had a 2-bedroom apartment, they'll charge per bed. They'll be furnished, right? So we go ahead and like, hey, I have a 2-bedroom, 2 beds in each bedroom, and I'm going to charge each one of you $1,000. And there are people that are paying that.
Yeah.
And like, if somebody didn't come up with their rent, that was their responsibility. Because the landlord, let's say the apartment by itself would have, like, he would have rented out for $1,000, but he made additional $3,000 by housing 4 people in there. So they made sure like everybody had a lease. So it wasn't like, families could go ahead and rent. It was like people were like charging per head. And so that was pretty like ingenious of them. But then a lot of people had to move out to Antioch, Pittsburgh, Stockton, if they did have a family, because they couldn't afford staying in Oakland or anything closer to San Francisco. So that was going on. Now, this wasn't like corporate. This was more like people who had their own apartments. And they had it was a business for those people. But then like corporate wise, what I noticed, it was like a continuation of college. So people were getting loans to move into these apartments. And I'm like, they have activity days. I'm like, didn't y'all leave college already? Y'all paying for a daycare center like Club Med, like it's not even Club Med. I mean, like,
So they in there playing beer pong and shit.
Yeah, pizza on Friday. I'm like, I don't need all this stuff. People are like, man, you want to move here? No, like it's college all over again. But I get it. People are paying for that social aspect of it, right? But like when you look at it in the long term, right? If you're putting so much stuff into, and this is before COVID hit. I mean C-19, before C-19 hit, people were paying for it. There were a lot of like new apartments that was looking like college dorms, and that's what people were looking forward to, and that's what they wanted. I never want that stuff, but that's what a lot of people were paying for, was to have that social engagement. Now I
Nah,
don't
it
know if
kind
the
of makes
Lakers got caught up into that.
yeah. From what I've seen, man, I think a lot of people too, man, like wanted to stay in the downtown areas. That was expensive instead of, like you said, like staying where your budget will allow you and stuff are for social experiences versus like, you know what, this is what I can afford at this time. Do I need to partner up with somebody, a friend or something? Then everybody want to go get their own shit because, like M3 was saying earlier, everybody like their own space. So I think it was a combination of all that, and then you
Yeah,
get people just overspending and stuff versus, you know, saving their money and putting rent first, you know, so that's also crazy. So I think it was a combination of a bunch of stuff. But hey, let me get back to this video. We're only gonna watch a little bit more of it, see who else plays out. But
Yeah, for sure.
Who are they pricing these expensive ass apartments for? Who are they pricing it for? Because there's no way that I can't find a 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom for lower than $2,300 that's actually decent. No roaches, no rats. We should not be in a state where minimum wage workers have to live with 3 to 4 people in order to afford to live. Everyone at minimum should be able to afford to live alone. Period.
That's not true all the time, right? Sometimes people, especially in your case, I don't know if you have kids or not, but if you don't have kids, I think having more than one person to live with is solid. There are people that have 4 or 5 roommates, or there are people that have like, it's like a dorm style to where someone has 1 bedroom, they'll turn the living room into a bedroom, the dining room will be a bedroom, and everybody lives. I think you
I
need to
don't know
be in a
about that many
situation
damn
like
people.
that. You don't see
no,
that as fit. That's your problem. That's why you're struggling now.
What was
and
that?
that worked because I know in San Francisco, that's how people were turning the living situation. Like there was the dining room area became a bedroom. All you had to do was get like dividers, and they turned that into a bedroom.
Oh, okay, shit.
The living room was the common area, and everybody had their own bedroom. But then again, right, the landlord will go ahead and make sure everybody pays their rent. So if you're a student, right, like grad school students, everybody gathered together, or everybody was like a law school students. You went ahead and you rent apartments together, and you stayed in those apartments because it was not guaranteed. If you pull that, oh, it's summer, we're gonna leave and go home. Everybody stayed in the apartment. It was
Yeah.
rent controlled. You know what I'm saying? Because you
Nah,
come
that's
back, I'm
good.
gonna find an apartment. No, you're not. Like this is like the Bay Area. You stay there. You're now official Californian, because leaving California and think you're gonna find something when you come back was not going to work. And that made people think like, okay, and people were saving their money, and they were able to go on trips without going broke, like go overseas and go to France. Because if I went ahead, like say I get like a $3,000 apartment and there's 4 of us, and my rent is only 900 a month, my other money I can do whatever I want, save, go to Europe, come back. My stuff is safe because I got like all my friends are squared away, and they doing their own thing, but we all paying the rent and we're all paying it together. But a lot of people wanted to have that. They don't want to have roommates, but there was an answer to that in San Francisco. We had something called single room occupancy. I don't know, you
Oh,
guys.
okay. Yeah.
So you know what that is?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So like, what for everybody else to understand, like it will be each floor had its own living room, its own kitchen area, and there'll be like probably 12 rooms on each floor. There's a
Wow.
shared bathroom on each floor.
Oh hell no.
Yeah. So, but here's the deal, right? Your rent was $500 a month. You're in
Okay,
San
San Francisco.
Francisco,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
most
I can do it in
expensive
San
city in the
Francisco. Shit.
world, right? But this is what they did. They took away the single room occupancy, turned them down, right? They brought them back, right? And it went back into like college dorms to where there was a single room occupancy, but now they're $1,000 a month. But then you're in each room is 2 people. So you didn't
Damn.
have that, yeah. So they upgraded it, but that's where you know what I'm saying. Like
Yeah,
the
they
whole
cleaning
thing,
up.
yeah, the whole thing. You want to be by yourself, yo. You have to move out to the country.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it is, man. You got to move out them city areas like San Francisco, New York. Man, you it's just too steep. But let me get
Yeah.
back to this video real quick.
I am not in a good situation. I am not okay. I don't know what to do. I am literally being kicked out of this apartment by 5 o'clock tomorrow to avoid getting an eviction on my record. And my parents have lied essentially and gone back on everything that they said that we were supposed to have set up for me. So now I'm just, and I literally have like 30 hours before I have to be out of this apartment or I have to go back to court. So anybody can help me, please help me. I don't know what to do. I live in Columbus, Ohio. I will literally pack it up and go anywhere. I'll go anywhere right now. I will go anywhere.
Man, that sounds personal. It sounds like she has problem with her parents or something. I don't know, but that's sad. But I don't feel sad.
I'm currently in a position where I'm losing my apartment in Quebec, and if I don't find another place by the end of September, I'm going to be essentially homeless. I have nowhere else to go. Now, there's a few mistakes that I made in this process, and that's the reason that I'm sharing this video, because I don't want other people to make the same mistakes as I am and end up in the same position as I am. I can't be out in August. Like, that's way too fast. And her response to that was to send a threatening letter, threatening legal action if I don't agree to what she's propositioning. And I said, well, no, this is not what we agreed to. I can't do this. So she goes and gets a lawyer. And the lawyer sends me a very threatening letter saying that if I don't agree to what she wants, that they're going to go to the rental tribunal and they're going to have me evicted. And guess what their reason for having me evicted for? Non-payment of the full amount of rent. They obviously can't do this. I mean, there's no way that they can have me evicted based on this. Well, guess what? Yeah, they can. I went to see a lawyer and yeah, they can. And she advised me, look, entering into agreement with her, because otherwise, not only can she go to the regie, have you evicted for not paying the full amount of rent, but she can also request back pay for all of the rent that you didn't pay.
To adulthood.
While I could afford my actual apartment and the rent, I really could not do anything else but stay inside. Be able to go on like trips to Europe and things like that. So if you're a young person that's easily influenced and you want the lifestyle that you see everywhere online, just think twice about it, because it's not always amazing and not always great.
I moved into a place that I can't afford, and now I'm stuck. I recently moved into a luxury apartment, and though it is nice and I like it and all these other things, I realized that I can't afford it. But as far as like what I want to do in life, I can't really afford it. In a sense of now I'm in a position where it's like I'm here and I pay so much in rent, it's to the point where it's like I can't even go on a trip right now. Like I can't, like, and I haven't traveled in a while, and I'm very big on traveling. Like I'm very big on going out and stuff like that. And I can't really do it as much as I would like to, because it's like I can't afford it.
Yeah, makeup.
But you pause that too. Let me break this down. I would say, Jerk.
Go ahead. No, I was saying, let me get past that dude. It was just all stuck on his face. So yeah, I was.
I'm just gonna give like a full breakdown, a translation of what she's saying. So people like her, are like almost like the equivalent to when you meet some of these women on these dating apps. So for me, like when I'm like doing like surfing around and Facebook dating, because it's free, and it's reliable.
Cheap bastard.
Yeah, I'm cheating all the way, right? But whenever I come across like a woman that's like high maintenance, that prefers a guy to take care of her, to be chivalrous, 10 times out of 10, I know your ass is broke. And you have those type of women that you may have a good position, but you're making big mistakes because you're getting these luxury apartments. Now you can't really afford to get the things that you want. You can't afford to travel. You can't even afford to like buy luxury meals. And that's why some of these women would try to use these men for like dinner dates, for travel expenses, things like that. Or get hooked into like OnlyFans if that's the case. But a lot of times, whenever you come across a woman that has like high demands and try to be high maintenance, just know that they're broke on the inside.
Nah, that makes sense, man. Yeah. Nah, just looking at like with her, man, it's like get what you can afford, man. Like it ain't that damn hard, man. If you know your salary is this amount, like this is why they make everybody go to math for all those years. It's like, man, you're supposed to look at that and you're supposed to be a good amount under, for your rent and stuff. So like you said, M3, they're gonna jump into these bad rental situations, and then it's like instead of being humble and find somebody good, they low key want to be like, you need to do this for me. You need, there goes all the demands and stuff. But it's just showing. It's just like, man, these tactics ain't working. So
Yeah,
it's just like, she's a pretty girl. So it's like, I know there's a lot of guys that probably pulled up on her that actually, wanted a relationship, but she probably
they
was like,
trying
nah.
to pay that rent.
Huh?
They're not trying to pay that rent.
No. But I'm saying, like, say like she got in a relationship with somebody and it was genuine. It's just like then they could have paired up. Both lived in a spot, or she could have moved into his spot. But it's just like all or nothing with a lot of, I'll say, women nowadays, where it's just like they want everything on their terms. They want to just use the dude like, oh, you gotta pay for everything. And that dude, like you said, Stan, there's like women that will work with guys. So it's like guys are choosing the women that's willing to work with them. They dudes are waking up. So that's why these ones they struggling and they ain't ugly.
Because here's something like the one that was like a couple of before this one, the one with
You
the
talking about
glass,
the one with the nose ring?
and her parents renege, and I'm like, what did you do for your parents renege? Like there's something that you're not telling us. Like if your parents is paying your rent, if somebody's paying your rent, and you agreed on the situation, please do not fall back and change your mind. Like somebody else is paying your rent. It's tough out here. It's her parents were paying it, and she like, well, they run back on the agreement. And I'm like, oh, like you're not telling us the whole story. It was like, oh, I'm gonna be out tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. Okay, next clip, it's like I got 30 hours, and I'm just like, okay, which one is it? Like I know you're overwhelmed, but what did you tell your parents that they renege on the rent situation, and what are you doing in Ohio? And I gotta ask that question for all of us, like, yo, if you're in your town, and I know you probably think like your town is less than what it is, but yo, if from the outside looking in, you gotta look at like wherever you at right now, that place is valuable because corporations is looking into it and trying to flip it. And you're trying to run to somewhere because you saw it on Instagram and TikTok. You gotta slow down a little bit and go to school locally. Start saving your money. If you're interested in going to, say, Atlanta, Georgia, probably do that on a vacation trip. Instead of vacationing and trying to see France, go see Paris, Texas. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't get it. Like, crying for us to pay. Like, yo, other people got to pay their own bills. Like, there's some stuff, and especially if you got a parent to go back to, you got to go back and start saving your money, and also learn to pay some of their expenses. Because maybe you're just not good at paying bills. So learn how to pay bills and understand paying bills.
Yeah, it's the entitlement. because like you said, it's like she mentioned I got parents and they was out to pay my bills, but they probably were looking at it like, okay, you trying to stay downtown or something in some luxury stuff. You really don't have no situation. She was probably being picky with a job instead of going out there working and stuff. You know how people are very selective. They think they should have a certain career and stuff like that. So after a while, they're probably like, you know what, we ain't paying for this shit. Bring your ass back home, like you said, and you need to get humbled. So instead of going home, getting that little U-Haul and making them arrangements, she's online crying. But that's what I was gonna ask y'all. I was like, is that the new thing? Instead of just like, because I know me, if I'm about to lose my shit, because it's like you're not gonna just really, you're gonna get a little bit of advance. You're gonna hear some rumor mill. Like I'm gonna go flood like Indeed or something. I'm gonna go like try to network with my friends. I'm not gonna jump online like, oh my god, can y'all help? Like that would be like the last thing that came to mind. So is that the new generation jumping online and everybody's gotta communicate what they're going through at the moment and stuff, versus like try to actually find a solution?
You know what the nickname of TikTok is, right?
No, I have no idea.
I'll wait for you to swallow. You swallowed already?
Yeah, go ahead.
They call it beg talk.
Makes sense, yeah, shit. I'm like, god damn.
Yeah, when they had that band, they're like, where you guys gonna start begging at? That's what people
Well, because my whole thing, man, and it makes sense now. That's funny, but my thing is like, okay, say like you get a little influx of cash. It's like, man, it's going eventually that's gonna run out. So man, go solve your damn problem. Like go home, man. Like I would just suck it up. I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna make sure that situation never happens again. I'm gonna do what I need to do versus what I want. So yeah, these kids are just pampered, man.
Remember last week when you guys covered the TikTok when TikTok was going down?
Yeah.
We had that one woman, she said she made $30,000 in 1 month, but now she broke. And we're like, and you guys was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, nah, it's crazy.
Like,
it's like, man, you get that blessing, you get that type of like lick in life, man. You work and you do that. But yeah, they just want all or nothing. It's just like, man, these kids would like quit their jobs just to, do this stuff full time without having that like, infrastructure built up. Like if you making millions and you did it like for like a long period of time, it's like that's different. But yeah, until you actually make it, man, nah, you gotta. I think parents are kind of at fault too, man, because they've been feeding into the entitlement, letting kids go what they want. I think parents gotta just cut them off. Like you were saying, Stan. Oh, I want to go over here. I want to move down here. I want to do this. Like, nah, you ain't got the grades. You ain't got the money like that. You're gonna stay locally. If you don't, you better make it work. Cause yeah, you just don't even entertain certain things and let them just like go out there and dependent on your money to go like try to live luxury. That's crazy.
No.
But we'll play just a little. Oh, go ahead.
What was M3 like? M3, what you think? What are your thoughts? Like, is it
No,
normal?
I mean, to be honest with you, like this whole thing shouldn't even be normal to begin with. But unfortunately, like it's becoming that way. And we as people, right, when we're going through these type of situations, we have to learn how to budget and adapt. Like I just want to kind of go back to the whole luxury thing. I had an opportunity to get a luxury apartment, a beautiful place in San Jose. I mean, not San Jose. I mean, San Ramon. It would have been very close to my work environment. I would probably been talking to a lot of San Ramon women right now, but the price from what I'm paying right now, I'm paying like at least like maybe $500 less. Mm-hmm. Now, of course, the plus side is that okay, I will have my Tesla charger or whatever in San Ramon. That's only like 5 minutes of a drive, or maybe less than that. I probably wouldn't even have to use my car. I could just get on my electric bike and start pedaling around. So there could have been ways where, yeah, I would have been spending an extra $500 or $700 more, but then give and take, I could have found a way to really save. But the way how I was looking at things is that eventually all it takes is just like one natural disaster, or it takes just one bad month where you may have to spend a little bit extra for your bills.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And you would just be totally wiped out. So I just decided, like, whatever I found that was more affordable at the time, and it's a 10-minute drive compared to like maybe a 10-minute bike ride, I'd rather just deal with that for the time being, until like maybe, well, I can't say it's going to get better as far as rent wise in California, but until like, maybe my financial situation is well adjusted and I'm more adapted to living a lifestyle where it's just me by myself versus when I had another partner to budget with.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's actually a smarter move because it's like even if you could afford to do something, it's just like you said, it's like, man, okay, yeah, there's some luxuries here. It's maybe a little closer, but if I could save like 500, 700, you think about that, man, and you invest that, you put that in like the SP 500 or something like that, and your money, you do that for like 5 years, man, you're gonna have a nice like pool of money versus somebody that's just like acting off an impulse, just like fuck
Yeah.
it. This is closer. Man, I'm here. Now they're over leveraged, and it's just like the difference that you would have after that, like I said, that 5 year period versus that other person. It's gonna be a nice little chunk of money. So whenever opportunity does present itself, say like, you know, the rates drop back down to get a place or something, it's like, man, you'll be able to jump on that, put money down. So yeah, nah, I think you're making a smart move, man. I think more people need to start thinking like that. It's like, hey, man, it's a little inconvenience, but what I save and what I could invest at the end of the month, it's gonna pay me long term, versus like short term thinking.
So I will say this though, right? And people's opinions could be subjective on this one. But for me, like, I will say the smartest but also the dumbest situation, the smartest but yet the dumbest thing I've done was in the expense. Well, in order for me to get out of debt, I had to pay all my debts off. So that was a huge, large portion that I paid off just to be debt free, which means that I'm starting from ground zero. However, and life is always a risk of everything. But I had that notion that I was like, okay, originally I was gonna put that money into something and invest it into like the stock market. And boy, I wish I have done that because I would have had like probably 10 times the amount that what I put in, and then I would have to this day, let's say if I put in 40,000 into crypto or some stock or whatever, particular stock, and going forward today, like the stock market's going up or whatever, I would have turned that 40,000 into 350,000. Because I do the math for things of what if or what I could have or whatever.
Yeah.
But it could have been worse too. I could have lost that money and then I would have been asked out. And then I would really been struggling. So sometimes it's like you do what you have to do to try to make sure that you maintain good credit, you get out of debt, but then you just learn from your mistakes going forward.
Yeah, it's a balance, man. Yeah, sometimes you just like you said, you gotta pay that debt, man. Because I'm like that too, man. I hate debt. So
Mhm.
sometimes it's a mental thing, and it's just like once you get out of that, then you can get to investing. So, but yeah, it's a hard balance. But all right, man. Let me. I'm just gonna play just a little bit more of this, and then we'll go ahead and jump into the next topic.
Drastic will happen, knock on wood. I pray not. I don't know if I'll be able to afford it. At least before, when I wanted to, I can go on trips and I can do different things. And it's just like the same problems that I was having before, I have again because I feel like every time I want to, like, I level up my lifestyle, I feel like I have to level up all the problems with it. And it's like, that's why I truly never level up. So I just thought that was so crazy because I really was sitting here and I'm like, yo, I can afford this place on paper, but like I can't afford this place in my soul.
That's what all these women do.
So Stan, why'd you when she said that last piece, man?
I'm gonna say this. Red flag now, not only is Miami not only you going out to eat, the red flag right now, I travel. To me, that's a big red flag. Because Folks are traveling and not taking care of responsibility. Now to ask that question, like, if you broke, why you on vacation, boo?
Yeah, you better get that part-time job. I don't know what is wrong with these people staying. Like you said, you better go to Paris, Texas.
Go
Like,
Paris, like wherever state you in, you better go there because I'm sure enough you didn't stay at the extended stay 5-star with a free happy hour. Sometimes the best vacation is in your backyard.
well, facts,
Who,
man. Yeah, like you said, dig
who,
yours.
go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, yeah, dig yourself out of whatever debt you got in, man. But that's why they either jumping online begging or they trying to find that sucker, man. They trying to throw that Hail Mary, like somebody please come take this burden.
Yeah,
And they
what
try
she
to push that
said.
all on the dude now. Like that's the newest hustle. That's that whole I'm looking for a masculine provider. That whole shaming shit that every female was doing.
They looking for a
And
simp.
they gonna push all that burden on them so they could just travel.
The last thing when she said was like, every time I try to elevate my life, it was something she said at the end of it. Not that's why I
Yeah,
just
she
thought,
said,
wow.
I do want to level up, but then I would have to level up all those problems too. She said, damn that. She's like, shit, I gotta fix all this stuff. So I'm gonna stay complacent.
Yeah, SJ, I was kidding you not, living in California, like I have family in Florida, so like when I went, it was only I was going to see family. I didn't spend money in a hotel. I'm staying with family, right? But if you live in California, our vacation spots was Las Vegas, didn't cost much,
Yeah.
or Reno. That especially with something called it's a tour bus, but we ain't gonna say no names because you know why? Because y'all not giving us money to advertise your company. But it only cost literally $50. It was 2 days and one night, and they actually pay you to play at these casinos.
Oh,
So for
okay,
fifty
damn.
dollars, you got $300 back,
Really?
right? And then there was also LA. So our vacations in California was relatively cheap. It was nothing to brag about, but we went out, and I think again it starts with everybody's trying to copy and paste what they see on
Yeah.
social media. Like, what you know about Ibiza? Like, can you stop? Go read the book. Like,
Yeah,
and
people
just
getting carried
stop
away
it.
with this stuff. I heard y'all cats be going to Tijuana though, man.
Not me. Not me. I
I
ain't
went
trying to
there
get
once.
stopped at the border. I ain't trying to get stopped at nobody border. Oh, you
See,
look
y'all
like the
cats be
black
down in
Mexican.
Tijuana and Phoenix.
Okay, you look like a black Mexican. Here come ice.
So you ain't messing around with it, boy. Yeah, times is tough now. I ain't messing around with it. I ain't going nowhere near the border. I don't even want
Not
to go
even
to the border
close.
of my state that I'm at now.
And they come
But all
at me
right,
like,
man.
"What's your name?" My name is Richard Holiday.
Said
Hey, y'all
John
can
Smith.
report me anytime. I ain't tripping.
Don't do it, M3 with you Latinos. They
Keep it
gonna
like
lock you up.
they're gonna lock you up in your future roommate situation that you was about to jump into. Yeah, she shout out to the homegirl that was trying to put M3 in a situation. She was like, look, if dude's gonna wake up with a kid and a wife.
Oh man.
But all right, y'all, we gonna go ahead. We're
Wait,
gonna
before you
wrap it.
start,
Oh, go
before you
ahead.
start the next one, so like I know women gonna be like, "Oh, they bashing this," but I'm thinking about like, yo, when we had talks about 50-50, how much would 50-50 would have saved these women from being evicted?
Oh, they wouldn't. They
Yeah.
wouldn't, man. Because like all they got to do is just do the math in a situation. It's like the one girl. She was like, my rent is 2,300. So if somebody
Mhm.
off the rip is saving her over like 1,100. I'm evening it out. 1,100, something like that. So over a year, shit, that's over 12,000 easily. I ain't trying to calculate everything, but it's definitely over 12,000 that would have been in her pocket. So yeah, it cracks me up when people are just like, oh, I ain't doing none of that. I'm just like, y'all dumb. Cause then even say like that dude, say he goes and he gets more promotions. Like y'all might start off on a 50-50, but if you were actually genuine and you was rocking with him, probably be like, you know what, I make more now. Like I'm gonna take a little bit more off you since you were genuine. So that's what they're not looking at all, man. they're so just fixated on like taking advantage of a situation that they just missing out, and guys are just getting burnt out dealing with somebody like that because it's just like the whole like you need to do this. They're like dictating shit. Like no, not too many guys are coming into a situation where somebody's like, "Oh, you need to do this in order to be with me. My time is valuable." You know, talking down to people. Because I mean, you're being submissive. If you step into a situation like that as a guy, you ain't leading shit. You know, so I think guys are finally waking up and like, oh shit, yeah, somebody that talk like that really ain't trying to. They don't like you. They just trying to use you.
Okay, M3.
Well, I was going to just say, because I know you was concerned about like how people would interpret us like bashing women or whatever per usual. But the thing is, it's not like we're bashing them. It's they're just the butt of all these jokes. If you stay out of social media and stop putting your business out there for clout, then we won't talk about you. We talk about guys as well too, like when they make foolish decisions and silly mistakes and all that. But it just so happened that the majority of them who are crying and taking everything to social media is predominantly women. And honestly, like you're helping putting like money in our pockets, you know, in the future. So I thank you women for that.
And let me piggyback off that real quick, because man, we cover every topic where it's the guys that have all them damn kids. We get at them. So like what M3 said, it's like, man, don't put yourself out here. And the flip side is we talk about bad behaviors, because I know a lot of women that's out here getting it that don't have no issue working with a man, and people out here winning. You know, I talk about my relationship all the time. So yeah, it's not as, you know, I think when people try to make it oh, you guys are bashing this and this, they just don't want to hear the truth, because 9 times out of 10, if somebody's fucked up, they're just going to try to find any way to try to silence people, because it's like that truth hurts. So that's really what it is. It ain't no, because I mean, all of us got females in our family. We give good advice. We got female friends, co-workers. Like I said, people that we deal with, and we always giving out great advice. So it's just, that's what I've been seeing lately. It's just, in order to shut you up, a lot of times people want to attack, you know, that point and try to make it like a gender thing, versus it's like, damn, they talk about bad behaviors. Maybe I need to change a little bit, because yeah, I do be coming off like that, and I have issues. You know, I got a pattern now of 4 guys that I all mess with all ghosted me. So shit, maybe I need to look inward. I mean, it's the truth, man. I be watching some of this stuff. I'm like, damn, like, okay, after 5 guys all talk to you, like, you ain't gonna take no accountability. Because I mean, if that was me and I had like 5 interactions with females, and I can't deal with it, I'm not gonna be sitting there like, oh, there ain't no good females. I'm like, maybe I need to change my goddamn personality. So yeah, if somebody can't do that's the issue. So it's like, man, I ain't letting nobody scare us off. I'm like, shit, we gonna keep talking about it, because we trying to help people. It's like, man, if you want to help people, you gotta look at this stuff, shit. It's like if they said that nobody kidnapped them girls and made them do that video. They jumping on TikTok they damn self.
No, it's not TikTok. It's Beg Talk.
Beg Talk, yeah, whatever.
Beg Talk, yeah.